glockenspiel?
Yes.
Like right at the beginning?
Yes, I have in caps, glockenspiel, mirroring the melody.
It's so good.
And then occasionally a bring.
Yeah, and it's recorded perfectly.
It is.
Can't unhear it.
This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum.
Welcome to the Backwards Beats podcast. I'm Carl Carter Fansteel.
I'm Dan Woodard.
And it is a gorgeous fall evening here in the fine month of September. We're past the Earth, Wind, and Fire Day.
We are, and I'm disappointed we didn't put anything out on that day.
I know. I've done it in years past on like the socials, but I didn't even have a show that day because was it a Monday?
Yep.
You're not going to do anything on the 21st.
No.
Well, it is what it is. We had a pretty normal week here. We didn't have to do any adjustments for time, but it felt like a pretty easy listen because we only have an 8-song album this week.
Yeah, and what album is that, Carl?
This would be the album Red by the group Black Uhuru.
Mm-hmm.
This album dropped in 1981.
Yeah.
And it weighs in just under 40 minutes.
And this album comes in at number 466 on Rolling Stone magazine's 500 greatest albums of all time list.
Yeah, I was happy to see some more reggae in the back end because, we had Chow was recently, and that was kind of like a cool reggae.
Yeah.
And outside of that, we haven't had a terrible amount of it.
No, we'll get there.
I'm sure we will.
We'll get there. I'm sure Legend's on this.
It has to be.
Right?
It has to be.
Yeah.
But this is a nice listen. I probably got a good 10 to 12 listens this week on this album.
That's good. I got a good amount of listens. I unfortunately didn't get usually as much of my focus listen, but I got probably like 2 or 3 maybe 2 focus listens.
Like sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it was the primary activity I was doing. I usually try to make that a real thing. Unfortunately, this week was not, for some reason, not conducive for that for me.
They all hit differently.
We'll be good.
And that's why we do this as a team. The other piece here is you end up with only 8 songs, which means you and I will probably have a 2.5-hour episode.
Let's try not to do that.
Because we somehow find a way to breach even harder when we have less content.
Yeah, we have opinions.
Quite a few of them. We've been talking for about an hour now. Nothing about this album, but just sitting around and catching up on the week.
We had a business meeting.
We had a business meeting is a perfect way to put it. Well, tell me a little bit about this album. What research did you do?
So before I talk about this album, I would like to engage with you, our dear listeners, and ask for your support by going into your preferred podcast platform. It would really help, actually, if you could do this in Apple for us. But looking at Spotify, 43% of our listeners are following us. So if you could go in there and hit that follow button, that's awesome.
Costs you nothing.
Costs you nothing. Free as in beer. Go over to Apple Podcasts. That'd be great too, except 70% of our Apple Podcast listeners are owning up and just like really helping and support us. So I appreciate that. But on Apple Podcasts, the reviews are the shit. They're the thing that really help us. So if you're liking this content, go on in there. Even if you're not an Apple Podcast listener, you have an iPhone, because 65% of our listeners are iPhone listeners.
Good for y'all.
Yeah. So since 65% of you are iPhone listeners, go on in there, listen to like 10 minutes of an episode so you get enough so you're allowed to leave a review, and then give us a 5-star review and we will thank you.
Long time.
Long time. Enough business.
Now pleasure.
Now pleasure. Black Uhuru's story begins in the early 1970s in Waterhouse, which is a tough neighborhood in Kingston, Jamaica. The name Uhuru is actually Swahili, and it means freedom.
Okay.
Makes sense. The group started as a vocal trio made up of Garth Dennis, Don Carlos, and Derek Duckie Simpsons. Duckie, the only one who makes its way onto this album. All three shared vocal duties, but Duckie is the anchor of the group and the only one. I think there are like 16 permutations of this group.
Sure, it just kept evolving.
Yeah. Like King Crimson, kind of reggae. Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And the early years, they released a handful of singles, and one of them that was interesting, I didn't get a chance to listen, is the song Time Is On Our Side. Do you know that song? Curtis Mayfield?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Not the band I thought it was.
Right. At the first, they struggled to make an impact, but after a period of time, Don Carlos and Garth Dennis left. Dennis went on to help form the Wailing Souls. Don Carlos did very well as a solo artist. So Duckie is now responsible for keeping this group alive. By the mid-70s, we have a new lead singer with Michael Rose. He gave a lot more of a unique sound. Well, we can talk about that.
Sure.
And then for a short while, they added Errol Tarzan Nelson.
Oh, fantastic name.
That's a great name. So I had to include it. But the real turning point really came in 1979 when Sandra Puma Jones joined.
Get him, Sandra.
Yeah, adding a female layer into what's not typically found in roots reggae.
Yeah, I mean, you get it in the Wailers, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really one of the only examples I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. Interesting thing about Puma is she's American-born and trained as a social worker. But brought really this like contralto voice into the mix. Really nice. Added to the harmonies. And I think the other key transformation with Black Uhuru is the partnership with drummer Sly Dunbar. We're going to talk about the drums on this album. And bassist Robbie Shakespeare, better known as Sly and Robbie, the producers on this album.
Awesome.
They were never officially members of the band, but they played on the records, led the rhythm section, and produced all the sessions.
So they effectively
are
heart and soul indoctrinated.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things that they brought to the table is a little bit more of a modern sort of punchy vibe to this, bringing in, more like dub experimentation into the vibe. And they really tightened up the grooves. I think we'll go through and say there's a lot of tightness.
Oh, absolutely.
On this album. They also brought in syndrums into a lot of the effect.
Yes,
and
they
we
did.
can talk about syndrums, yeah. And it really made them sound a lot more contemporary. They recorded their debut album in 1977, an album called Love Crisis. But it was really Simsilla, which was their album in 1980, that put them on the international map. And the album was really politically sharp. It has a lot of really interesting rhythmic stuff. I did listen to that a minute, but it really sort of put Black Uhuru on the map as carrying reggae forward sort of into the new decade. And that really set the stage for this album. So Red was released in 1981. It's their second major album with this lineup. And it came at a crucial moment. Just a few months before, Bob Marley passed away in May of 1981. So they really filled a void that sort of came in, wondering who's going to kind of carry this torch,
And they were already like in the throes of it. It seems like they were like ready to kind of like run through.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure they were affected by Marley's passing, but getting your wheels, sophomore, like publicly recognized album, seems like they were settled in their lineup a little bit.
Yep.
Really good production team.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They had all the tools to pick it up.
Yeah. And I think it really, one of the things that they did well, because they have that heavy like roots reggae vibe that's going in with updated production.
Yes.
And like the opening track on this really speaks also to the, to the struggles of, Jamaican people, but the general like dysphoria, beyond Jamaica. And I think that really helped, put them on the map from that perspective.
Or on this list, at least.
Yeah.
It was accessible in that sense.
Yeah. This album released number 28 in the UK album charts and stayed there for 13 weeks.
That's impressive.
Yeah. The British Music Press ranked it among the top albums of the year. NME placed it at number 3 for 1981.
Okay.
So basically, people took notice, and kind of a big deal. And I think timing plays a lot into this as well. Not to diminish the creativity and what they put on there, but they say, basically luck involves preparation. So they were there, they were ready. I'm saying that they were lucky, quote unquote, that they came in with a massive void that came with Bob Marley's passing. I mean, that was a big deal. When we undoubtedly cover Legend, we'll have to talk about like the massive like mourning that came with his passing.
Yeah, I wasn't around for it.
Yeah,
but I'm aware of. I mean, there's nothing till this day. There's nothing that really compares to him. He's the Michael Jackson of his field, right? Like,
yeah.
No, that's a nice lesson to learn. I had no idea they had so many iterations.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the brief history that I was able to pull together in my spare time.
I'm always thankful for the history lesson at the beginning of this. We'll tear through this pretty short list after a word from our sponsors.
All right.
From the slippery-fingered mind that brought you The Girl Who Kicked a Pigeon, now comes the sequel no one asked for and everyone fears. The Girl Who Loved Her Pigeon. Annie Blumpkin thought she was finished with feathers, but love is like a beak, sharp, sudden, and always pecking where it shouldn't. After her vision quest in a Walmart parking lot, Annie discovers a pigeon named Clarence, who understands her in ways that no man, woman, or waxy yoni egg ever has. Together, they share sunflower seeds, whispered affirmations, and late-night alley confessions about the unsettling feeling of pre-warm toilet seats. But when Clarence begins cooing in a tone that sounds eerily like Barry White on ketamine, Annie must face her deepest question. Is this tenderness or just avian foreplay?
Second one.
Critics are already flapping. Pastor Doug from the Caramel Mini Golf Fellowship says,
This book made me break my vow of celibacy.
Gwen from Yonkers Hot Yoga says,
Finally a love story that makes me as moist as the towel hamper.
and Ernie says, Bert loves pigeons. Annie really loves pigeons. The Girl Who Loved Her Pigeon by Hilda Farden, ranked number 2 on the books you should definitely not read during Thanksgiving. Now available on digital papyrus and scratch and sniff braille.
What do they really mean when they say knuckles deep?
I think it's a terminology that goes back to making bread in the 1500s. And so what you would do is you would gather yeast from your partner. Make sense?
It does. It does. It's good to be needed.
Needed. Yeah, I see what you did there.
Did you?
All right. So this album opens up on a tune, Youth of Eglington. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. And there's really nothing on the number list here on Spotify that makes you go, oh my God. Now, mind you, 1981 album. So vinyl, 8-track, cassette tape, may they live and rule forever. I'm sure a lot of purchases are here. And also Spotify doesn't generally do a great job of telling us how appreciated this is worldwide versus USA-wide.
I mean, 4.7 million is not a stinker either.
No, but we're not looking at any bangers here.
Yeah, and to be clear, I think Black Uhuru only has about 300,000 monthly streamers.
That sounds about right. I think I saw a number close to that as well.
But what's interesting about this song right out of the gate is I talked about the dysphoria of Jamaicans, right? And talking about basically Eglinton happens to represent several Jamaican communities, including Eglinton, which is a community within Toronto, Canada, and they're all very rough towns.
This is the MLK Street of any given city.
Yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
That, fair, yeah.
Or whatever heights.
Of course.
Yes.
There it is.
Yep.
And you kind of get that vibe coming into the song as well, which is nice when it paints the picture.
Yeah.
Another thing to note on this track listing when you look across it, pretty long songs across the board. Everything exceeds 5 minutes or is close to it with the exception of one song.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 4:35 in there as well, but a couple 6-minute songs.
Yeah.
So they really stretch out. They take their time to tell their story and kind of get their message out there.
Well, it's get their story across, and then for a lot of the songs, then it's a minute or two of vibe.
Oh man, talk about instrumentation and jamming. That's all I'm going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. And I'll come out of the gate here and say that I think in a studio context, some of that jamming, while it's good, doesn't do as much for me as it does. Like seeing reggae music live is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't listen to a lot of studio reggae because I feel like I need to be in the moment with it more. And I think you'll hear me maybe talk about.
You mean touching other people and stoned?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least being knuckles deep. And so I think that's what initially hit me on first listen for the length of these songs. Sometimes the length of these songs, it goes too long for me, not because it's not good music. It's because I'm kind of ready to move on. I don't mind a long jam in a live setting, but sometimes,
all fairness, chord chart wise, in your Berkeley brain, you can only 1/4 or minor to it so long until you're like.
It's not so much that, but yeah, it's a little of that.
It couldn't not be some of that.
Yeah,
even and I'm good for a vibe too, and I'll agree with you here.
Yeah.
What keeps it fresh across this album though is, my God, are they not? They're like, we must touch every instrument.
The cabeza in the right ear going the entire time.
There's the multi-tracking. There's tracks on tracks on tracks on tracks. They're like, okay, cool. Like there will be 4 guitars in this song, and there will be 9 different pieces of hand percussion. There's always a texture and a depth entering.
Yeah.
And so what you don't end up with something that feels looped ever.
No.
They're always going to add a new sound source in, though the tempo is rock steady as it should be.
Yeah.
And they'll stay on their grid. They'll throw new timbre in, but they won't really change their idea. And I too ran out of patience once or twice, and would just be like, all right, cool. We have 1 more minute of this.
I get the idea.
I don't think anything else is going to change dramatically.
Yeah.
Though they will sneak in some fun stuff.
They do. The funny thing about this one, you said chord chart, not a lot going on in most of these songs. This is the hit the road jack chord progression.
I have a note on this. Look.
Do you have hit Ray Charles?
There it is.
The road jack.
It verbatim says, lots of sound sources, well mixed and panned. Like, it's like a reggae hit the road jack. Not a bad start to the album.
Right.
Verbatim. It's so funny you said that.
Well, because that's the chord progression. That's the chord progression. Yeah. And with the piano part.
Yeah. But the fun thing here is, so we're trying to break away from conventional reggae in my mind. And not because anybody's giving me the mission statement we're going that way ear-wise, except for the fact that this is Rolling Stone. Mm-hmm. Why does this album hit here? I'll tell you, this beat is not conventional reggae. The drum beat is anything but. It's kind of cool. It's kind of...
but it's not so divergent that you're confused.
No, it's kind of like an 80s take on a reggae beat. Like, it's a little pop rocky. Yep. It also swings. Ta-ta-ka-ta, ta-ka-ta. Mm-hmm. Or ta-ka-ta, right? They're kind of riding that Dilla line between straight and swing.
Yeah.
But you have this triplet pattern going on, and a 1, 2, 3, 4 kick snare. And so it has all the trappings of reggae, and this drum beat is not reggae.
Right.
And the singing style is, the production style is, the instrumentation is, and I think that's actually kind of cool on the ear. and I'm going to drop this card way too early, and I'll probably talk about them again. I'm a big fan. I don't know much about them, but I so look forward to learning about them. The Clash. And they always had these tastes of kind of reggae island that they're willing to play with. And I think it's so cool. And I hear a lot of this 80s like Brit inspired stuff coming out here.
Yeah.
And I don't know really how else.
It's funny. I noted the Clash as well. And then, but yeah, I don't have, like, to your point, I don't have, like, I can't say this is this song.
That's right. I don't have the evidence to back it up.
Yeah.
But there's just, it's flirting with it. Who got who, right?
Yeah.
Who knows? But this is not a traditional reggae song, yet you know you're listening to reggae.
Yeah.
That makes
I agree.
sense?
Yeah.
But I like the vibe. I think the vocals sound like a first song. I'm like, I like this production. Vocally, I love the tracking. The vocalist, that's Rose. I think you said he took over as the new lead singer.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
He's fantastic. He sounds so good. And, 81, we didn't have all the cool toys yet. So really good performances. And the way they're using their vocal section early on, I'm going, I love this. This is not conventional. When the female comes in, Sasha Puma,
yeah.
When those come in, that's not where I would have arranged them, in a sleepy head.
Yep.
There's some thoughtful things going on here. This is slightly more complex reggae.
Yeah, it's better layered, yeah, it's better layered and produced. Sly and Robbie kind of know what they're doing as producers in this.
Agreed. And I like the mixing, the panning. It's a good sounding song. I think it's a strong opening to the album.
What I think is interesting with the panning, we talked about, I mentioned you've got cabeza going pretty hard in your right ear. Not offensively hard, but it's there. But the left ear, it's all special effects in the percussion.
Yep.
Kind of weird.
And then fun effects. And then you also have these hard pan guitars. There's always at least 2 guitars in these mixes. And there are a lot of these like one note lines.
Yep. That's throughout the album.
And they just add great texture. And they're played so tastefully. Sometimes drenched in effect. These are relatively dry.
There's actually a lot of dry production on this album as well. But it's interesting. Maybe I'll just mention now, I feel like, reverb is an effect, but they use it oftentimes, and we'll get into some other songs where reverb is just used at an impulse or just to mark something. Like the drums will be dry as dry can be, and then all of a sudden a snare will come in with this big massive gate reverb.
That's all dub,
yes,
right?
Yep.
That's the fun part.
That's the dub part.
Talk.
Yep. Yeah.
No, this is so much fun. I heard this song. I went, cool. I look forward to listening to the rest of this album.
Yeah.
And I think any of you would too. It's really, really fun and clean, and it's a new sound. This is not a traditional reggae song.
Yeah. And the last thing I would say about the youth of Eglinton is they won't put down the Remington.
No, they won't. Rock that thing up, baby.
There you go.
Just talking about that. All right. Song number 2. Now, I heard him say, so it's SPONJI, but it's spoongi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reggae. Not G.
Not spongy.
Yes, exactly. Spoongi.
Yeah.
This one is by far the most popular song on the album on Spotify. It's almost 13 million listens, 12 and 3/4. And it's just under 5 minutes and whole new style.
Yeah. This is the only song that I didn't know that I already knew.
It's funny you say that. I'm right there with you. There were 2 on this album, actually, I was familiar with. And so this is what you expect when you jump into a reggae album. This one it kind of runs the blueprint. All of a sudden, the drum groove kind of falls into where you think it should be.
Yeah.
It reminds me of one of my favorite, my actual favorite reggae band is Steel Pulse. And this just sounds like Steel Pulse. It's so clutch. It's so pocket. Rhythmically, it's literally perfect. And then they can't leave well enough alone. They introduce this glockenspiel.
Yes.
Like right at the beginning.
Yes. I have in caps, glockenspiel, mirroring the melody.
It's so good.
And then occasionally a bring.
Yeah, and it's recorded perfectly.
It is.
Glockenspiel is really, really challenging. For those who don't know what glockenspiel is, think xylophone. It's a mallet on little metal tine.
Except it's small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, glockenspiels traditionally sound like kids' toys.
Yep.
Think music box. And the problem with recording these suckers is you almost get nothing but attack and impact noise
Yeah.
from the mallet or hammer hitting the chime bell. I don't
Yeah.
even know what the proper terminology is. It's really hard to get the tonality. This one's super clean.
It really is.
I think it's real. It could be a keyboard effect, but I'm pretty sure it's real. It would have to be really, really good programming for 81 for it to be.
I think it's what's funny is Walk Off the Earth do a cover of Material Girl by Madonna, and they have a kids glockenspiel that they sing
Like a $25 Target one.
Yes, and they play the melody, the dun dun da 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 dun dun. They play that on the glockenspiel, on the kids glockenspiel, and it sounds amazing.
I think the key there is getting your mic off of it. Like, not if you're doing a directional. Like, I would think you use some sort of like a pencil type of mic, right?
Yep.
You don't want to point it at the point of impact. You just want to kind of dampen that attack.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of it here, whether it was intentional or not. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So one of the reasons I knew this song, I didn't know I knew it because of this, but it sounded familiar, and I did a little research on it. So trigger warning coming up. This song was featured on The Cosby Show. And there's a funny scene where Denise, the character from The Cosby Show, Lisa Bonet, and her boyfriend are sitting on the couch, and Heathcliff Huxtable is in the back, and they're just like grooving to this song, and he's just trying to read the paper, and he's irritated by their grooving. I so clearly remember that scene, and the fact when I heard this, I'm like, that's what I didn't know what my trigger memory was, and it was that stupid episode.
Hey,
yeah.
Look, you can still enjoy the moment of the show without,
Oh, the show was great, just because he was a piece of garbage.
A horrible person.
Yeah.
This tune, I couldn't put my finger on where it came from in my head, but I'm just familiar with it.
Yeah.
They've got this the thing that strikes me towards the end, there's just like a weird percussive synth thing.
Yeah, and this is where the surprise gated reverb on the snare shows up.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, it's no new news in reggae music production to use sub snares, super cool gates, long delay tails, doing things to manipulate your drum sound specifically. My favorite, inspirational band of all time, 311, did a lot of programming in the studio. You look at like Leaving Babylon and Inner Light Spectrum and songs that 311 wrote where Chad Sexton, the drummer, literally was...
He's so good.
He's so good. Go look up 311, Chad Sexton.
And talk about someone who uses a mixture of really dry, crisp drums.
And it's super wet, crazy effect
Yeah.
drums. Yeah, they're perfect. And 311's always... They do that SoCal reggae thing, and they give a lot of respect to that style. I mean, I only knew about, the White Man Hammersmith Palais because of the cover they did.
Yeah.
Leaving Babylon's actually a cover as well. And so you listen to the way that they had, this LA ear and good studio access, and they'd program what were perceived to be reggae drums. We get a really good OG version of that here. Other bands steal this stuff too. I mean, Down to Real Big Fish did it. Mm-hmm. Oh, one of my favorite bands, I don't even know if they exist on this earth anymore. There was this band called Dub Trio.
Okay, I don't know them.
They were opening for Soul Live for a stretch.
Soul Live.
I'm populating our AI with all my favorite things.
Yeah.
Shamelessly. And Dub Trio, their big brag was, it was a trio of guys, guitar, bass, drum set. And they would record their live shows and spit them right to a CD you could buy. And everything was live sampled. Like they're like, we did not overlay anything onto this. And proof's in the pudding, I could buy the recording. So I went out to State Theater in Virginia, saw them, and literally the drummer's playing these grooves, and he has a dynamic microphone in his left hand.
Oh, wow.
He's putting it over a snare and then reaching over to a Roland SP404 and doing manual delay shifts and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And the guitar player's on his knees half the show on his pedal board, just And
Yeah.
the bass player's just sitting there playing with only his thumb and no attack. Boom, 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 boom. And you watch these guys, and it was just such a mind-melting vibe. Fantastic. Dub Trio, if you exist still, or if you're doing other things, I want to know about you because those guys were the best.
Awesome.
Anyway, there's cool percussive synth. There's rock solid bass.
Cool guitar hook and the
Absolutely.
yeah,
Man, the guitar sounds so good on this album.
they do.
And there's a litany of different little like effects and like roles they play, and not one of them's a strummy chord ever.
Yeah.
And there's not even like a oh my god backbeat upstroke thing going on the whole time. Like really tasteful use of your guitars. You know, you rarely catch the guitar and the keys doing that part together.
Yeah.
Really
It's
fun.
there in the album for sure.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. It has to be. It's not reggae otherwise. But
And then they use that same synth effect almost to like a vocoder level.
Yeah.
On like this one passage, I can't tell what it was. Post Frampton-y, I don't know, or pre.
that's so funny. That yes, in my mind, at some point during the listening, I got a Frampton.
You got that little Frampton
Yeah,
feel?
yeah.
It was just like they took whatever the vocal or whatever the percussive synth was, and it's like then they were like, now apply it to the vocals. I'm 2 songs in, and I already know that nothing is a no in this band. They will try anything. They will use any instrument. They will bring in, and I love the variety I'm getting.
Yeah.
I kind of beat this to death. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
All right, track number 3, Cistern.
Yeah.
We don't even break 1 million listens on this. 638,000.
Yeah. Sisterin is sisterhood, which is a counter to brethren.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Sister and brethren. Yeah.
The drum fill at the beginning is so sick.
So yes, it is. Yes. There's a better drum fill that comes later.
I know.
But this one's awesome. This one's more like "Take the Money and Run" by Steve Miller Band.
There it is. I said mine. This one reminds me of Jammin'.
Yeah.
Because that has hit, and I think it's because they have like really high tuned, tight sounding drums.
Yep.
I think almost the timbre and kind of the quick splat of it.
Yep.
But now that you've mentioned "Take the Money and Run," yeah,
Because the drums and the drum fill in that, the timbre's similar too.
indeed, yeah. But the "Money and Run" has those. Doesn't it have the backbeat hi hat chokes? Right.
Not in the opening fill, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right, so we're there. We both agree that the drums are awesome.
Yes.
And then
Across the board.
you have that, and then you stack immediately on that guitar with like that slapback delay, and all of a sudden you're in a vibe.
Yeah.
Now, for third song on the album, we have not yet repeated any feel. This is a new rhythm and a new kind of groove.
Yeah, and so content wise, like the lyrics are elevating the role of women within the Rasta community, and so you actually get a lot more Puma in this one.
Yeah, her feature really starts to stick out here.
Yeah, and then you take that and you mix in. I don't know if you notice this during the chorus. The bass in the chorus is bonkers, including those like double stops.
Yeah, the double stops are noted on mine.
Yeah.
What really hit me, actually, it's so funny you went for bass. I'm going to go for drums. So we'll
right.
trade each other's
Right.
arts.
Yeah, the chorus
So
on the drums.
we're in like a kind of swung feeling reggae.
Yep.
And then we move to the chorus. We go to what's called steppers.
Yeah.
Which is just a straightened out took,
Yeah.
right? And it's an entire straightened out groove. And the thing that codifies it is this gourd shaker comes in. Mm-hmm. You've seen like the old dried out gourd with the beads around it.
Oh, yeah.
Aggressively setting
Yeah.
chicka, over this very straight beat. So you have this swung kind of loosey verse into this straight ass chorus.
Yep.
Reinforced by that gourd shaker, which is funny because when they go back into second verse, that gourd shaker holds on for like an extra bar or two.
Yeah.
And then you're suddenly like let back into your groove.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's good. I think there's some. The other thing when I talked about the bass in the chorus, that we get some pretty good slap bass on this as well.
Dude, this bass across the album is very, very good. But this is the one where you get movement, double stops. And yeah, I guess that is slap bass.
Yeah, I didn't expect to hear
Which
that.
is funny because there's still no attack on the bass. So it's kind of weird to have slap bass.
But that's
sans
what's
the-
happening.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of like who plays the bass on Peg by Steely Dan?
Yeah.
Chuck Rainey.
And again, he goes, slap bass was real taboo back then, and still Walter and Don
Well, it was
didn't
really in
want it.
vogue, and they didn't want it.
Yeah,
and he
and
turned
so
his back.
He turned around.
But they kind of EQ'd a little. I mean, the slap is there, and it's awesome in that chorus. But it's a little bit EQ'd down. Like I think it's the EQ that's pulling the slap, the full attack of that slap out of this one. But
Yeah, I mean, just in reggae traditionally, you don't have a lot of treble in your bass lines. Now, this album so far actually has a pretty gritty live sounding bass, which I think is part of why we were getting that like Clash or like a little bit of like that Brit rock
yeah,
influence. They're kind of being a little more contemporary, as you said.
yeah,
We'll say this is the first time in the mix where I believe fault was done. The vocals are too low.
yeah.
This song feels a little out of balance to me. There's a lot of sound sources and stuff flying around, so it can be tough to latch to.
Yeah.
And as a musician, I really appreciate the variety. However, I would have preferred a little more vocal here.
What's interesting, this is the one of the shorter songs, not the shortest song, but one of the shorter songs on the album. And this is one where the outro goes for a minute, and then it kind of gets weird. You have like all these falsetto, like almost just a cappella vocals in the outro.
I said crazy vocal ending for last 30-ish seconds.
Yeah.
Riffing, melisma, chanting.
Yep.
Really cool.
It is. So this is what for me, who sometimes got bored with the outro grooves, this was definitely worth hanging around for.
It is, and it speaks to the freedom of the album. They're going to use their sound sources. You feel a little unchained here. They're not worried about being judged by the purists. Like
They're comfortable in their skin.
Indeed, and I think it's paying off overall. Some stuff is either overdone or cheesy or corny. So be it. I like feeling unchained here.
Yeah.
Scoot on. Let's take a journey to song number 4.
This is a metaphorical and literal travel through Babylon.
It is indeed. Unfortunately, only a few people went on it at 286,000 listens.
Yeah, but literally, we have Burn Brimstone going through this whole track.
Indeed, we do.
Yeah.
Great opening drum fill again.
This is my first note. Banger.
This is a monster. And these drums came in so much more hot.
Yeah.
The last drum fill, one of the reasons I think it reminded me of jamming is that timbre or Take the Money and Run.
Yeah.
Thinner, high-pitched sounding drums. Not these. This was a bulldozer in your face. It was like a bulldozer like getting slingshot at you.
Yeah.
It was really heavy.
Here, catch this.
It's a loud song.
Hand me that piano.
That piano. Oh, I love you so much. And this is, here we are. We're song 4 for 4, no repeatsies.
Right.
And Carl loves this. This is a 16th note shuffle.
Well, yes, and you have your traditional reggae beat 3, which then is upset of the next measure. Every other measure, snare comes on beat 3, then beat 2. So you're like
kind of
like
almost
falling down the stairs,
loppy sided.
Yeah,
but it's over a partially swung 16th busy hand.
Yeah.
Sublime used that technique quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so I really like the soundscape they built us here.
Yeah.
Now, here's where this one falls apart for me.
Okay.
I have some critical feedback I have to offer. There's a very catchy chorus. Brimstone, burn. I like it. You can latch onto that.
Yep.
Let's go. This melody, I feel like if he sang it 10 times, it'd be 10 different melodies. There's nothing about this melody I could remember and sing back to you. It feels very lost.
I think it's taking us on a journey, Carl.
Okay. Say more, Daniel.
Well, no, that's I agree with you completely. I'm just trying to be nice.
This is the first song on the album that really didn't hit for me. There's elements of it I like. Nothing's done particularly poorly. It's just up until now, I could nod my head and groove and probably hum along with where this melody was going. This felt rambling.
And you can't groove to it because of that 3/2.
Truth. Yeah, no, it's displaced in a sense.
I enjoy that part of the song, but you're not getting your reggae vibe.
I
You're
enjoy
not,
the theory of it.
Yeah.
It's cool on paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other notes on this one?
Not really. This is to me, I think this is kind of maybe a disappointing end to side one of this album.
Yeah, but like
Given how so strong the start was.
Precisely, yeah. The first three really came out of the gate for me. This is where okay, it's mortal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's so much more to discover in the second half after this break.
Hi, Morty Feldcash here from Schemely. Is your cubicle neighbor a master in passive aggression, clipping their nails over their keyboard during lunch, and playing music at douche level just loud enough to skirt HR thresholds, and then generally being the person you desperately want to smack in the face with a scuba fin? You've tried sighing, eye rolls, and polite hints, but nothing changes. The problem? Small, repeated annoyances that eat away at your very soul. I'd like to introduce to you Cubicle Calm, the bespoke office revenge service brought to you by a bunch of 40-somethings. Cubicle Calm will bring you peace of mind, knowing that the socially impotent waste of carbon that is your cube neighbor will get what they deserve. Our clandestine services include lunch enhancement. Our agents will skillfully infuse their Manscaped trimmings into your victim's meatloaf. The bathroom lurker. Does your victim suffer from bathroom stage fright? Our agents will linger around long enough to force your neighbor to hide in their stall and courtesy flush until the toilet overflows into their chinos. And finally, computer sabotage. We'll modify their computer notifications to nothing but porn sounds. Sign up for Cubicle Calm today, and we'll include a 3-month, non-discrete supply of Brotex wide gap sampler to your CubeMate's desk. Cubicle Calm, brought to you by Schemely.
The question is there a place in the world where a kidney stone is considered a delicacy? If so, how is it consumed?
Let me ask you this. Well, the answer is orally, but have you ever enjoyed a kidney stone?
I've never had one, thank God. Mm-hmm. I imagine if I were to enjoy one, I'd want to smoke it like crack rock.
Well, that's what it looks like, because in my unfortunate circumstance, when I did have one, the insane pain and melodrama that preceded it was so underwhelming when it was actually passed. Because the tiny little arrowhead that came out.
You're like, you did all that?
I'm like, that's it?
Ugh.
It was disappointing. I'm like, I was expecting something the size of, I don't know, my shoe.
Yeah, you're like, I'm passing Pluto.
Yes. And it was microscopic and it was disappointing. But yes, you consume them orally.
And
full stop.
More powerful. You can shoot lasers or.
Well, no, I mean, they're expressed the appropriate way, but
you just may give them another circle of life. Just back in me, baby.
That's right.
Oh, Chris. All right. I asked.
It's the snake eating his tail.
It's on me, baby. That's the Game of Thrones emblem.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Lay off the Mountain Dew. Dun, 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 dun. All right.
How do we utter that?
Utterance, song number 5. Do you think cows pass kidney stones through the udders?
Ooh, that'd be terrible.
Can you imagine milking one? Also, you just get kicked in the mouth because it really, really hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, poor things.
Hoof and mouth is bad.
Oof. All right, so 2.5 million listens, short song, 3 minutes, 35 seconds. My first note here is this is exactly the opposite of last song. Very catchy melody.
Very catchy melody, and the drums are almost like Sissy Strut.
Yeah, really cool drums.
Yeah.
Oh, Sissy Strut. Say more about the tune. I know it, obviously. Let's
by the
talk
meters.
Yeah.
Ba-da-da-da-da,
The funny part is the line you sang feels very conventional. The drum line.
Oh, they're off the chain.
Not conventional.
No.
Everything's just feels like it's like a cans dragging behind a car on an old wedding day.
Yeah.
But it's perfect.
Yeah.
Steve Jordan does a really good job playing his stand-up cocktail kit back in the day when John Mayer Trio covers Sissy Strut. Do you remember this recording? Him, Pino Palladino, and Steve. And Steve has a signature cocktail kit under his name, and he's crushing that Meters beat.
The Meters, Sissy Strut.
Yes, I'm so glad to put that on. So you open up with, this really, really cool, catchy melody. There's a güiro that's going off, and there's like a pitch to it. Like, I guess it feels like the more rapid they hit this güiro, the higher the tone goes.
Yeah, well, that actually does make some sense. Like, I think if you think of like the physics of the fish.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's a wooden instrument.
It's a hollow wooden
ribbed instrument.
For her pleasure instrument. Yes. And scraped with a stick.
Scraped with a stick. And sometimes somewhat, I'll say, conical.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes it's just a tube, but sometimes it's,
no, they
like
come
a football
in
shape.
Shapes of all sorts of things.
Yeah. So the football shape is because that's why it looks like a fish. It looks like a fish with a tail cut off, basically.
Like a trout.
Yeah. And because of that, I mean, obviously there's going to be a resonant frequency of the wood that's happening there. Are you okay?
I'm just going to go wood.
I knew you were. Of course. You said wood. And so as you press on that, obviously the harder you press on it, the more of that resonant frequency, that tone's going to come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's just physics.
Physics behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Really cool, effective sound at the beginning of the song. It's percussive instrument. And then you move into some really nice pre-chorusy and even chorusy vibes where you end up having the ooh from a Rasta line, which I love.
Well, and this is talking about the societal fears, and misunderstanding of dreadlock Rastas. I mean, like lyrically, it has a lot to do with that, and it's a lot of sort of prophecy that's sort of being baked into the song. But a question for you: chord progression. Is this not No Woman, No Cry?
It's 100% No Woman, No Cry.
Okay, thank you.
There's only so many progressions used across this, and I'm pretty sure we could tie every single one to a Marley song.
Yeah. But I'll say this. I'm sorry to cut you off. The 16th note bass line reminds me a little bit of "The Bed's Too Big Without You" by The Police.
Okay. Well, I mean, they pulled from a lot of reggae.
Yes. I mean, that song came first.
Yeah, but the influence. Yes. And so you end up with these charts. I mean, major song.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I like it because it feels celebratory.
Yeah.
And embracing. This is such a nice tune, right in the dead center of the album. Once again, sounds like nothing else they've done so far. Carl loves some variety.
Yeah. And you talk about the positivity. I mean, I think there's a bit of a spiritual, like, against Babylon.
This is one of the first times we're hearing more traditional themes.
Yeah.
That you'd hear, in
Rastafarian.
That's exactly
culture.
right.
Yeah.
And so I think it's kind of cool to get it halfway through the album and done in a fairly traditional manner. I love the vocal take on this. I think it's fresh. Mm-hmm. It's well heard. Puma's parts are really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a sermon.
Yeah. If there's a spiritual sense to this.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's beautiful and simple.
It's a great way to start side 2.
Agreed. You move into song number 6, Puff She Puff.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes long. It is the minor version of the same song.
It is. Now, while the title may lead you to believe the song is about...
I thought it'd be a weed song, 100%.
It's not.
It's totally not. And it's refreshing, actually, to not have to, check your box on your weed song for the reggae band.
Yeah.
But that's more like a white guy later in 2000s reggae band thing to do.
Yeah.
In 81, they don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, this is a song about, like, poverty, intimacy, and shame. Like, the opening line, making love on a hungry belly. Like...
Yeah. No, it's pretty clean.
Yeah.
My line from this one I really liked is, money I can hardly find and white skull a bite. The simplest things get serious in these times.
Yeah.
I was just like, yes. This tune just has a lot of character. It grips you. It sits differently. This feels like it has more on the line than anything else so far on the album. If it's not like lyrically, it might just be like the weight of the lyrics or the topic.
Yeah.
There's a reverence to this song that I think is really important. And it's a 100% top 3 for me.
It would be. This one goes a little too long for my taste because of everything it starts off with. The tail, again, probably live if I'm there in the moment. It could go on for 24 minutes and I'd
We
be
just
fine.
dance.
Yeah, I'd be fine. What's the length on this one? It's 5:09.
Yeah. It's not short.
It's not short. And with all of the potency of the beginning, and it's not really typical. So I mean, they're not exploring the space at the end. It's a vibe. If they explored the space a little bit more, then I think I would enjoy the end of this, and it would be probably maybe my number one.
Yeah, this one's locked up. It's a more conservative approach instrumentally than we've heard up until this point. I think the production is very good. Oh, they do our favorite little thing, the female vocal, where you get that like ooh da, da, in the back. You get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Ooh, Flight of the Conchords here. So yeah,
precisely. You get a lot of that kind of like side detail, but otherwise, I like respect this song
yes,
a lot. And it's not because, I mean, the messaging is can be interpreted many ways. It's pretty clear.
yeah. I mean, there's a weed component to the song, of course.
Of course. But there's I mean, like, Puff can be mistaken in many ways. It could be a sexual act. It can be huffing and puffing and working your ass through it. Like, they're kind of giving you...
What do you mean, Greg? To Puff the Magic Dragon?
Puff the Magic Dragon. Oh, man.
One of my favorite movies.
Oh, man.
So awkward.
It is horribly awkward.
Meet the Parents.
That's the one.
So good. I'm glad you got the reference right
I
away.
knew it immediately. That was one of the earlier ones for me.
Yeah, so good.
Uh,
We watched that movie when my first son was being born.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That feels like the kind of thing that, like, no matter what situation in, like, my first son's being born, it can still, like, diffuse you.
Yeah. I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Could you milk me? Is that the most quotable line in the film? Might be.
Yeah. If you remember earlier on, I think it was on the Hear My Dear episode.
Oh, my God.
I read.
I blacked out during that one.
Yeah, I read Jack Burns' poem.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You did indeed. I got to go back and listen to that episode. I feel like one of these days we'll have to do a disclaimer piece of side content.
I don't think we'll have to.
re-listen.
I don't think we'll have to because for the record, at least from this podcast,
We're on the record.
We're on the record. So that album, Hear My Dear by Marvin Gaye, I think is a terrible album. Marvin Gaye is a national treasure.
Exactly.
That's just not his album, in my opinion.
His best song on that album is the most cheesy disco-y
The disco.
Hook Up With Me song.
Yeah.
Everything else is the ramblings of a madman smearing himself in string artists he can't afford.
Yeah. And I had someone come at me about my take on that. I'm like, okay, let's put it on. And you show me where this is. And he's like, oh, you're kind of right. I'm like, I am right. Just because he's revered doesn't mean that he bats 1,000.
Do you know how hard it was, y'all?
It hurt my
for
soul.
Dan and I to have to take a stand against him this early. That like we like almost conspired to not being tough. We almost fell for the trap
Yeah.
because we didn't want to lose our podcast that
Right.
early in the game.
Right. Of all like 8 listeners who were listening at the time.
No, but that because it's so early in the catalog, we
Yeah.
had to make a decision. Are we going to be honest?
Or canceled. And canceled, potentially.
Yeah, or we can kiss up.
Right.
And like we're not going to lick the boots, man. We're going to call it as it is.
Yep. Marvin Gaye is a national treasure. Hear My Dear.
Not a good album.
Not a good album.
That's it. I can leave it not a good album. I don't have to go any further than that. It's not a good album. It's jumbled thoughts. It's like trying to string together a drunken night.
Yeah, he was high on coke and traumatized, clearly.
Yes. And you know what I think he lacked on that one? Like,
Songs.
well, no, there's plenty of songs. He lacked coaching. He lacked someone who could tell him, "Hey man, that's not good." It's like he was like surrounding himself with like 10 yes men.
And that happens, right?
Of course.
That happens.
Of course that happens.
We'll talk about another artist who could use some people who would put him in the right lane.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Yep.
It won't be the last, it won't be the first. Anyway, we love you, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Song number 7. Rockstone.
Featuring the Vibra-Slap.
Indeed. Oh, you beat me to it. I was going to make a kidney stone joke.
Oh.
Okay, but yeah, that's fine. Also, same key as Puff. So now we're on our 3-song bender, major to minor, and now this takes a cool turn. It feels almost like an extension or a B-side of Puff, doesn't it?
It does. It does. I mean, thematically here, Rockstone is the immovable object in this case, right? This song is
So like we can't emphasize enough that it's a hard thing from the dirt, so it's a rock and a stone.
rock and a stone that you may pass through your urethra.
That's right. If you're Dan.
Yeah. Oh, don't get kidney stones, man.
Try not to. This is a very non-conventional beat, though
One
it
and
has
2
this
and 4.
one cool little element to it. So like, yeah, we've talked about soca a lot recently through a couple of our more Latin albums. You certainly hear a kick at times. There's this really cool snare riff that goes down on the third phrase every time, though.
Yeah.
Which is a linear, like a very choked, tight. It's not a buzz roll, but it's almost the kind of a snare fill that you'll hear in like house music now.
Yeah. Yeah. You said buzz roll. Could you demystify
Sure.
what you mean by a buzz roll?
If you're playing a drum set, your key component, you're playing the snare drum. That's the drum that sits in between your feet. It's the one that sounds like the hand clap in songs. You all have heard a snare drum before. There's different ways to play your snare drum, and if we're going to do a roll, we're going to play multiple notes in series at equal value. There's ways to do it. You can play a single hand roll, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, ticka, 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 ta.
Yep.
You can do a double stroke roll, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. You can do triple strokes. You can do different things like paradiddles, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, left, left. A buzz roll is where you lean into your notes and you're not really counting them anymore.
Sometimes it's called a crush roll.
A
too.
crush roll.
Yeah.
And this, but the roll in this song isn't that. But a buzz roll is what you hear in like a 21 gun salute. Tuk
Yeah.
tung, tuk tung.
Yeah. Used a
It's
lot more in classical music.
Very rapid.
Yeah.
And what we're doing as drummers is we're kind of pointing the tips of the sticks down to the drum, and you're not lifting them very high. You're relying on the bounce the same way you'd rely on a basketball to dribble off of a court.
Yeah.
Remember, if you dribble a basketball high up, you're gonna have less, per moment, per minute, per second, whatever RPMs of the basketball hitting the court. The closer you get to the court, the more you get, right?
Yeah.
The distance, and so we're doing the same thing in a buzz roll. You're creating this wall of snare sound.
Yeah. You're relying less on a measured frequency of pulses and just letting the rebound of the stick coming off the snare. So it could be 3 on the right and 2 on the left. You're not measuring that. Your hands are going at a constant pace. What's interesting, if you watch someone do a buzz roll, is going to sound really fast, but the hands are moving pretty slow because
and
of
the
the amount
arms
of
are moving slower.
Yeah.
It looks like pistons on a train,
yeah.
or like the arms coming through. But you're getting 64th notes out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas a typical roll is actually in time.
Yeah, and we're like, if for the really good drummers, which I am not out there, you're kind of counting your strokes so you know when you can exit it or change your sound source.
Yeah.
A buzz roll is like, we're gonna smash this one sound source.
You know, a cool way for you drummers who want to make your buzz roll sound more fluid is very often you'll play like your hands will move like in an 8th note pattern or a 16th note pattern or something like that. One way to sort of smooth that out is actually to have your hands move in a triplet motion.
I was going to say, I triplet my buzz rolls.
Yeah, so if you play basically a triplet rhythm with your hands, but let the rebounds take care of the stuff, it will make your buzz roll buttery smooth.
Tuck it, tuck it, tuck it, tuck it, tuck it,
Yeah,
tuck it.
and you just won't hear that pulse as much as you will if you right left.
You're doing less work too. It'll feel better.
Yeah.
And you really don't have to count it that hard. Getting out of a buzz roll is actually the hardest part. Is like
you got to stick the landing,
ending it.
Yeah.
Because you're doing so much until you're not.
Yeah.
And if you're playing triplets, extra hard.
Yes, because now you're doing a rhythmic displacement that's not typical. It's not going quarter, 8th, 16th, 32nd or something like that.
Nothing about this beat's actually a buzz roll.
No.
But fun conversation.
Yeah. You mentioned it. So.
Yeah, no, it's on me. I hear you. But no, you get this really great kind of beat that has some Latin feel. It has some kind of up stepper feel. Right, like that kind of upbeat.
Yeah.
4 on the floor is kind of how steppers works. And then there's just like, it feels out of place. It feels like a choppy drum roll. And so there's a lot of texture going on rhythmically here.
Yeah. And when I talked about the 1 and 2, 3 and 4, I was talking less about soca, but more about it was literally bump, 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 da, 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 da.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right? Which is still reggae, but we haven't heard that yet.
Oh no. That's yeah.
Yeah.
We're at 7 songs, no grooves repeated, not a single one.
No, and no drum sound is really repeated. We talked about some dry, crisp drums earlier. These drums have a ring to them, but they sound baked in the 70s, not the 80s.
Totally. And look, half the drums, especially on the back end of this album, are programmed. They're triggered pads. They're digital.
Yep.
And so you mentioned sign drums earlier.
Yeah.
This is a lot of fun. And if you listen to reggae drums across the board, it doesn't matter if you're listening to Marley or Peter Tosh or UB40, you're going to get this wide variety of sounds. There's this very funny kind of like trope. It's like this cheesy stacked horn thing off of like a cheap sounding Casio keyboard.
Yeah.
It works in a lot of Latin music. It also works in reggae music and is sought after. Where you're like faking a horn line.
Right.
On like the cheesiest sounding fake horns, but it really works with the aesthetic.
It does.
Same thing kind of works with drum triggers.
Yeah. I agree.
So there's a tight arrangement going on here. Even with this kind of crazy beat, this is one of the tighter songs of the whole album. Nothing on this album's loose, but this one's particularly well arranged.
I agree. Yeah. Like rhythmically, the tightness on this album is like kind of indisputable. Like it's really almost, I mean, there's a feel to it and a vibe and there's push and pull, but it's also simultaneously like almost metronomic.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody has their place. The guitars, it's a good time to talk about the guitars. The guitars on this album, they're like these unsung heroes. They're only second to what I think the vocal work, which I think is supremely good. The guitars are restrained. However, there's all sorts of effects on them at all times. There's a lot of wah-wah pedals and cool filters, but they're always put right in the perfect little niche. You kind of feel them, don't hear them, and this is a great example of that.
Yeah, actually, I think on this one, isn't there like a bit of an envelope?
That's the envelope filter, right?
Yeah.
And so, and it's, offset by like this like dry Les Paul. Yeah, it's really cool. And they're all just playing their little part. There's no ego in the game, it seems.
Yeah.
I really love that about the type of music.
Yeah.
Vibra slap, of course, as you mentioned. Yep, straight out of the Cake playbook.
Yep.
As prophesized. That's around the 2-minute point. There's also some kind of like chimey bottle sounds right after the vibra slap.
Yeah, I'm not sure what those are.
I always, my bottle sound reference, I think I've mentioned on the podcast before, is Lenny Kravitz literally crediting green Heineken bottles as one of the instruments on his song.
This could be sign drums just pitched up too.
Totally could be.
Yeah.
And it probably is.
Yeah.
But they're once again experimenting with a lot of fun and sound. Really love the call and response parts here in the song as well. That We Are the Slave, like, it feels interactive.
Yeah. No, this is
liberating.
Yeah, this is talking about the weight of oppression behind the scenes.
No question about it. I
It's
mean,
like the most like militant track.
oh yeah, you need this. I
Politically.
mean, what's a reggae album without a revolution song?
Yeah, and we haven't really done this album a lot of justice on the content. Probably, and I kind of intentionally steered away from some of the content of this because I don't think that I'm qualified to talk about some of the detail of that. Maybe when we get into some other reggae albums, we can talk about.
I don't know that I
The
was
Rastafarian-
decoding it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent time reading the lyrics
Mm-hmm.
via Spotify. It's a great feature they have alongside it. And, you know, some of these phrases, I would not say theirs are like canned, but you get like a Babylon quote or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like I, big theme for the latter half of the album.
Yeah.
You'll hear a lot of that. There's clearly some sort of oppression. It's not my place to wax poetic on it.
Yeah,
And
mine either.
yeah, and that's who we are.
Yep.
We'll say there is a hilarious moment in this song.
Okay, tell me.
They try and attempt this studio delay vocal thing.
Oh yeah,
It's so bad.
it is.
It's hilariously bad. It doesn't ruin the song. No, not even. It's not even a scar. It's a pimple at best. But it's really funny to watch. They've had so many good moments of using delay that felt like very true to dub, and they have like wah 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 vocal.
Yeah.
It's so gnarly.
Yeah,
Um,
it was confusing.
Yeah, it's right at the 3-minute 30-second point. If you want to catch up and hear what we're talking about, it's cheesy as hell. I'm not surprised at all that they took the risk because they
Yeah.
took so many risks.
Yeah, they did.
There are like 25 instruments in this song.
Easily. Easily. They're all there.
It's fantastic.
But you know-
yet it still feels like there's space.
Yeah, there's space. Because I was going to say, unlike Phil Spector.
Who, with half the instruments, turn this into a migraine clusterfuck. This is such clean, clear arrangement. I can't speak enough about my appreciation for 1981 production. This album, through and through, sounds fantastic. Yes, I've made fun of a few things. Yes, there's 2 songs where the vocals are too low. And I do think changing your drum sounds literally every song and then introducing so many different instruments can be, it's a lot of work for
It
the
is.
producers, but it's never jarring. It's a pretty cohesive listen. 7.5 out of 10 on that.
Yeah, all these things do not detract from the overall quality.
The end product, yeah.
And you have to think, mixing 25, if it's 25, whatever,
It ain't far.
it's not far. Mixing that many instruments, you have to realize that sonically, each like section of instruments fits into a different like frequency spectrum. And you might say like, well, orchestras have 60 people, 80 people. Yeah, but you're still limited. You still have like cellos, viola, violins.
Yeah.
Like
12 violins takes care of the half of that real quick.
Right,
Or
right.
A fraction of it.
So it's not like 25 different instruments.
Yeah. I mean, and here you can break it into 5 or 6 groups.
Sure.
But you're going to get 5 to 6 vocals. You're going to get 5 to 6 percussive instruments. There's almost a dozen right there.
Yeah.
You have a minimum of 2 guitars, sometimes 3. You have a minimum of 2 keyboards, sometimes 3, and organs.
Yep.
You have then all the wacky stuff. Funny synth. You always have a good killer bass here. I mean, you're well over a dozen tracks minimum on the easiest song.
Right.
You got to find a place to put each one of those so they're not in the way of the other thing.
Yeah, and how they lock together sonically. So if
And
you
rhythmically.
right? So if you have 5 guitars, they're all going to fit in the same sonic space for the most part. But then now rhythmically, how are they going together? If you're all playing the same chord at the same time, what does the voicing look like? Is everyone playing the same voicing, or are you stacking it out so you have some low end stuff and some up high? Like there's arranging and mixing that is really impressive.
Agreed. And done at a time where, you know, almost 50 years later, we don't have those tools.
Right.
You know, or we have the tools. They didn't have
Yeah.
touch on these
Yeah.
45 years ago. Anyway, great song. Really, really like the tune.
Yeah. Shall we wrap her up?
I think we do. Hey, Dan, why you all sweaty? I was watching Cops. Because this song reminds you of what?
Bad Boys.
Bad boy, bad boy.
The song is, you beat me to it. Carbine
Yeah.
is the song.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. And in this podcaster's opinion, I can't hang on for 6 minutes, but
Oh,
yes.
I can. I love it. Remember that tune off the Stooges you liked that I didn't?
Yeah.
This is my version of that.
Got it. Yeah.
I'm in. I could be in for 10 on this.
Yeah. So this sound, this is this an episode of Cops is what comes up because it is the Bad Boys
Yeah,
vibe.
We still have kind of like a Steppers feel. They have a 16th note cut time drum fill, which I think is such a wonderful, classic, almost roots reggae approach to ending your album.
Yep.
And I love when like you can like land the plane.
Yeah. So either Bad Boys or Get Up, Stand Up, right?
Sure, I mean it's the same vibe.
Kind of, yeah.
This snare, by the way, hits harder than a tractor trailer into a building. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I think I like it. Jury's still out for me.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh,
It's a stretch.
It's a big one. There's these great movement on the wood
But
blocks.
do you know why? Because lyrically, they were talking about gunshot season.
In that case, this
Right, so it's appropriate for the lyric.
Pong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got that reverb on it that makes it sound like a shot ringing out.
Yeah.
They got the dancing wood blocks the whole time, which are so great.
Yep.
Texturally. It's a really nice setup to the end of the album.
Yeah. And, it's really, there's a lot of social commentary. It's talking about the gang violence in the early 80s. So, this is a good song. I just think it just lingers a little too much at the end for me. So, I actually really like this song. This might be my second favorite song if it was like a minute and a half shorter.
It's a top 3 from me. You got powerful vocals. We're talking revolution. I mean, it checks every box. It's great because I think this and Spoon G reggae are Spoon G reggae.
Yes.
Sorry, both were nods, and they came at the right places. They kind of like gave their first tune out, and then they're like, "But look, we can do a more traditional reggae here at the end. We're gonna lock the album up, give our message over what feels a little more traditional." And there's this kind of, but they're still putting new elements. There's like the synth line that goes on during the chorus.
Yep.
It's just definitely a newer feel in the 80s.
Yeah. This was almost the title track of the album.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Would have been a sick title track. Carbine's not a bad
Yeah.
call. It would have painted the album contextually in a way I don't think is the album. This song's an outlier. This is not an album of 6 Revolution songs.
No, it's not.
And so glad it wasn't. Kind of like Where We Did Live here. You get, that kind of talk about unnecessary violence and quelling it. I mean, there's this whole call to cool off the entire time, right?
Yeah, it's all about gun violence and toll in everyday life kind of vibe. And
what I like though is,
but I think the rhythm actually. But you talked about the snare, but just the rhythm drives that like constant threat.
Oh no, this is not a chill song.
No,
until it is.
Until it is
around 3:30, 3:45.
Yeah,
latter half of this song, you end up with these. They kind of do like a breakdown. There's some great dub moments where they're using long delays, cool panning tricks, instruments sneaking in and out.
Yeah.
And they're really laying into the instrumental of this tune.
Yeah. And so I've complained about the length of this one that I lose interest. I bet you a few more like conscious listens, I'll disabuse myself of that notion.
Fair enough. I will say, I don't think that those weird synth risers are for everybody.
They're not.
Like they start to like, I don't know, rapture, bless everybody to heaven.
Yeah.
For like a good minute.
Yeah.
But if you listen, they're committed to the cause. They stick through it, and the band's playing around them.
Yeah.
There's an ending here that I don't understand, but I know that it has a place. This is not just them jamming over crap.
No, it's not. I don't know if it's an epilogue or what's happening here, but to me, this does feel, this is a good closer.
Oh yeah.
For sure. And while the whole album is not a revolution album, I mean, there's there's enough political content on this album, and there's enough. I mean, there's a lot of celebration too, but there's enough to it that I feel like I like this as a closer. I might prefer a more celebratory song as a closer, but I think this fits album craft very nicely.
Agreed.
If you think about the beginning, the youth of Eglinton won't put down the Remington. We start with violence, we end with violence, right? So it's bookended nicely from that perspective, because we're talking about gun violence right in the very first song.
Sure.
So I think that's nice and intentional. So I think it's a nice bookend from that perspective. I just would prefer it to be a happier ending, because I prefer it to be happier. But hey, the stuff that's going on, it was going on in the violence in Jamaica in the 80s, and
Probably hasn't changed much.
it hasn't changed much.
Bob passed,
Yeah.
This, yeah, and though there's no real arc, I don't know that I would change anything here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, this is
It's just
pretty
preference.
good song order. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just preference.
Well, would you hit it?
I think I would, but I want to caveat something here, because we keep talking about greatest albums of all time. And as much as I did enjoy this album, the music is good. I keep walking to these albums, the ones that I don't know, hoping to have my mind blown. And this album didn't blow my mind.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. But now I have to look at what does greatest mean, because they all can't be your bangers, your unequivocal, like, multi-platinum. Just because it's sold a lot doesn't mean it's good.
Oh yeah, we don't need proof for that.
Right? There's plenty of crap that sells a lot. So I think as we go through this journey, it's really interesting and refreshing to self-reflect on the definition of great. And I think the greatness that comes in this album is the timing and the place where it came. They're taking a lot of risks, and then there is this opportunity for them to set the stage, and people resonated with this very strongly. And so by putting it on the list, I think it does make sense. At first listen, before I did any research, I'm like, that's a pretty good reggae album. Right? When I just listen with no context. And so if you come in, and as someone who is not necessarily fully ingratiated, you're like, yeah, it's good. Your mind may not be blown. But I don't think your mind has to be blown to make something great. So with all that being said, as I'm learning through this process of all these albums, I think this is a great album, and I think that it really did help set the stage from all the research and everything I've been doing, like trying to unpack and really trying to gain perspective that I didn't have coming into it. I totally get why it's on the list and appreciate its spot.
I really like what you said there. And I too think we have to think about what does greatest mean. And yeah, there's no world where everything's going to be that gnarly, because preference exists.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they were going to pick the top 500 albums that would absolutely week after week mind melt me.
Right.
So when you have to look at this like amalgamation, right? I really like this album. It took me about 4 or 5. I liked it first listen. It took me about 4 or 5 to go, they're doing cool things.
Mm-hmm.
There really feels like there's no fence here. There's no restraint. I don't feel like a producer's breathing down their neck and telling them what to do or what not to do. I would buy this on vinyl. It's a very comfortable listen. I would happily embrace and listen to this album anytime someone wanted to talk about it. And in a world where I do think that this field is underserved, like, name 5 more like this that don't have the word Marley in them.
Right.
It's very challenging.
Yeah.
So Daniel, what's next?
Well, before we talk about what's next, I have a question for you.
Okay.
What's that in your ears?
Always a good question. This week, I think last week I answered with what I've been listening to because my son keeps listening to Frankie Valli.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I really didn't tackle anything new on my front. What I listened to this week that was interesting to me in my ears.
Because you when we came in, you talked about you've been listening to something nonstop from one of our favorite bands. Oh, you're looking at me confused.
I am confused.
Are you hungry? Off of Family Dinner Volume 1.
Oh, you're right. Oh shit, what's the song called?
Yeah, I'm trying to cue you up because it looks like you're
Oh
struggling.
no,
here.
you're so
Yeah.
perfect. You're so perfect on this one. All right, so yeah, I did binge on it was Magda.
Yes.
I don't know how to say her last name. Amortala is Family Dinner Volume 1 Snarky Puppy. It's this little French Parisian cafe sounding tune.
Yeah.
It's not a bossa nova. It's just glorious. It's equal parts gypsy jazz, bossa, and she's playing accordion. The band has brilliant moments. There's these light, flowy, 3 fantastically beautiful backup singers.
Yeah.
And they surf this song. Corey Henry's playing on it, and you get these Rhodes rolls. Where Magda breaks down with just him
Yeah.
about 80% of the way through.
It's a good song. I
And
know
it
what you're
builds
talking
back up. It's my favorite song off Family Dinner Volume 1.
Yeah, so Snarky Puppy, Family Dinner Volume 1. The song is called
Amor te la.
Amor Te La. So,
Check it out. The other one that's in contention here would obviously be Layla Hathaway's something, yeah. Which is she's singing. This is the one where she harmonizes with herself on her voice.
She does.
At the same. It's like witchcraft, and the reactions from the band will also make you bleed.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic album. Snarky Puppy Family Dinner is a tradition our band Snarky Puppy does. Our favorite
not
band.
our band.
I wish.
Yes.
Where they bring in singers, and Snarky Puppy is their backup band.
Yeah.
They now have 3, you could argue, because they did a live family dinner last February
That we
when
got
you
to
and I
witness.
were in Miami.
So good.
Oh my God, was it good?
Yeah, it was.
I can't wait they haven't released that yet, have they?
No, they haven't. But I think
I
they're
feel like
going
we'd
to.
know.
Yeah.
Those performances were bananas. But do yourself the favor, go check it out. Yes, that was my earworm. Thank you for teeing me up on that.
There you go.
What's in your ears?
So I've been very different, very different. There's a band called Maruja, and they just released on like September 12th this album called Pain to Power. You heard a little bit of it last week.
Oh, this is the one that your son turned me
Yeah,
on to?
he turned me on to the band. Really, they're kind of like an art rock kind of group with almost like I'll say their singer sings, but he also kind of raps over like this heavy guitar, art rock, noise rock kind of stuff.
No, but there's like, yeah, but you get
But
like
there's a
this
groove.
tinge of new metal
Yeah.
because of that rappy thing.
Yep. And a tenor saxophone going all day.
So cool.
Yeah. So
Oh,
good.
yeah. That was a highlight of last week, was listening to that after hours.
Yeah.
It's always so nice to like be involved. I will say it's getting harder and harder for me to sit around and listen to music with the homework that's in our lap every week.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend my entire day with my son, and he's so into listening to the same 25 songs, which thankfully are so cool.
Yeah.
Because like half the songs he wants to hear every day are either from Wolfpack
Yep.
or Frankie Valli or the Jacksons.
Yeah. Do you have him on the Wolf Mon album?
Oh, dude, he's all, no, yeah. Oh, he knows the difference between Wolfpack and Wolfman.
Good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Daddy, Disco Snails by Wolfman on Spotify.
Disco Snails.
Song of the summer, baby. And the Evangeline tune.
Oh, so good.
Oh yeah, I mean he's on all over all of that. And so the cool part is I'm trying to figure out how I can like just introduce new songs. So he caught Blame It on the Boogie the other day from the Jacksons, not
Yeah.
the Jackson 5 and not Michael, but he caught that the other day, just because it bled over.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dad, what's this song?" And I was like, "Yeah, we'll endorse this."
Yeah.
He still demands Devo Whip It all of the time, though. Ouch.
I get it.
It's brutal, dude. All right, what album do you and I have the pleasure of listening to this next upcoming week?
We get to listen to the best of the classic years
Of who?
by King Sunny Ade.
Of who?
King Sunny a Day.
All right,
It's
King.
another African exploration. It's a shorter album than what we went through with the compilation from Soweto.
Soweto, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Okay, I'm into it. Open ears, open eyes, open hearts, and open minds are what drive this podcast. Dan and I were talking earlier about how thankful we are to have all of you, and even if you don't exist, just us, to share these moments with. We're better people for having listened, and we're thankful. With that said, I'm Carl Carter Fansteel,
I'm Dan Woodard.
and we'll talk to you next week.
That was a show about the album read by the band Black Uhuru. Let's use every instrument we can get hands on.
Backwards Beats Podcast is a Tuna-Wood production recorded live at Thought Shack Studios in Halethorpe, Maryland.
If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us at Backwards Beats Podcast on most platforms.
Share the love, and we'll see you next week for another deep dive into the next album on Rolling Stone Magazine's Top 500 list. Until then, salt your melons.